If you want to usher mediocrity out of your life, the simple thing to do is to face each day with purpose. I'm excited about each of us who are just day by day individuals, maybe unknown in the great scheme of things, yet very known to the lives that we affect.
You know, with my life, I want to help people make more so they can give more, so they can live more.
A lot of people talk about having a positive mental attitude, and I think that's cool, but I also think that it's pretty light, because it's not about having a positive attitude, it's about having a healthy mind. I grew up in a time before kids were heavily medicated. Believe it or not, I'm 100% unmedicated. I am an ADHD. Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder. Because of that, my mind tends to go in a million different directions at once, and I bet that your mind is very similar. Even on your slow days, you probably feel like you've got a ton of thoughts. You've got all kinds of things going on in your brain. Here's a key. We've got to control our minds. We've got to control our beliefs. You guys know that I focus on body, beliefs, and business. And our beliefs come down to our mindset. It comes down to the way that we think. Now, you might imagine that I'm going to say we've just got to think positive. Well, I can guarantee you that is not enough. Let me give you 4 areas to concentrate your beliefs on. It's going to make you stronger mentally, which is going to make you stronger in the way that you face life and the way that you live life. Number 1 is your faith. This means your belief system, your value system, your truth, because life is going to be hectic and it's going to be difficult and it's going to be challenging, and most of the time it's not going to go the way that you planned and the way that you envisioned. And so you've got to have this foundation to come back to, this anchor to fall back on time and time and time again, so that when the whole world is coming apart, you're able to stay solid and to stay on track, because you know exactly what you believe, you have your faith, and you have your foundation. Number 2 is focus. Focus is all about our inputs, the things that we allow into our minds that are going to impact our outputs. So if we're bringing in negative resources, if we are watching bad TV, if we're watching bad movies, and you're going to have to define bad for you, but I'm saying anything that is not of the norm, anything that is lifestyle oriented against what you would live, you know, so all of the violence that is out there, all of these things that we take nonchalant, the truth is these do impact our mind. If you're listening or watching programs that are constant negatives, guess what happens to your thoughts? They become a constant negative. If you're living on Facebook and most of your Facebook friends are ranting and are fussing and are fighting and are negative, guess what? You get pulled into that drama. And almost everybody says, I want a drama-free life, but they're constantly pulling in drama, and that is your focus. So whatever we're focusing on is going to make the impact on our mind, and it's going to have an impact on what goes out of us. Yes, number 3 is fear. You know, fear can be healthy and good because it can keep us safe. On the opposite side, fear can be unhealthy and it can be inhibiting. It can cause us to give up on our dreams and give up on our goals, because we're so afraid of being judged. We're so afraid of being critiqued. We're so afraid of what other people think and what other people are going to say. We might set a goal, and along the way we stumble, and immediately there's somebody there to say, I knew it. I knew you didn't have it in you. On the opposite side, we could really gain momentum, and somebody will go, well, who do you think you are? So all of these things are part of our mental mindset that end up crushing us because of the fear that takes place, because we invent these outcomes ahead of time. We imagine most of the time the negative things that will result, and it inhibits us from taking the steps that we need. And then finally is fire. How are you going to react in the tough times of life, the difficulties of life, the challenges of life? All of these things are determined first in our mind before they become real in our body. Because we may not all have this glorious success story. We may not all have this story of triumph, but we all have the story of tragedy. We all have the story of disappointment. We all have the story of brokenness. We all have the story of abandonment. We all have the story of discouragement. We all have the story of having to walk through the fire, of having to endure the flames and come out on the other side. And the reason that we've got to be strong mentally to come on the other side is because that moment of fire is our greatest area of service. Because other people are going to walk through and they need us holding their hand and guiding them. I say that success is not an accident. And that's not a platitude to me or just a statement to me. It means that we can be very intentional about the way that we're going to design our life and to be able to choose the path that we want. And when our mind is right, it's amazing how many other things become right in our life as well. We can't just let our mind run amok. We can't just let our mind go wherever it wants. We've got to control it, and we've got to refine it, and we've got to continue to focus on it so that our healthy mind produces a healthy life. Success is not an accident. Be blessed.